Conspiracy theories started appearing about 9/11 before the dust had even settled, and they continued to grow more than 20 years later. In 2018, it was reported more than half of Americans believe the government is hiding information on the attacks.
Some viral videos can be quite convincing, and the Building 7 collapse has instigated an impressive conspiracy theory movement. But that doesn't mean the theories are true.
Let's dig into this.
Warning: viewer discretion advised.
If you're too young or just don't remember, there was absolute chaos on September 11th of 2001. For those of us sitting in our living rooms watching on TV, it was terrifying. No one knew what was coming next. We saw a plane hitting the World Trade Center's North Tower at 8:46 a.m. Eastern Time.
And while television reporters were asking how an accident like this could happen, we watched live as another plane flew straight into Tower 2 at 9:03 a.m. Eastern Time. Within a span of 17 minutes, we all knew we were under attack, and in an instant, the world changed.
Just 34 minutes later, a plane hit the Pentagon building in Arlington, Virginia, right across the Potomac River from Washington, D.C. Less than 10 minutes later, all U.S. airspace was shut down, and all aircraft were ordered to land at the nearest airport, leaving folks stranded in places they never thought they would be that day.
At 9:59 a.m., the South Tower, Tower 2 at the World Trade Center collapsed, and we started to see live reports of people running covered in ash. At 10:02, United Flight 93 plowed into a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. And at 10:28, the North Tower of the World Trade Center collapsed. We watched as people ran from the giant wall of smoke, ash, and debris barreling down the streets.
Fear was running so high across the country that businesses and schools immediately shut down and sent people home. No one knew what would happen next.
Every TV channel and radio station was covering scenes of utter devastation like we had never seen before. The live reports weren't always correct. Rumors were flying, and folks interviewed on the scene, like the rest of us, were in shock.
There was a BBC reporter live in New York covering the chaos. Before 5 p.m. Eastern Time, she reported that Building 7 at the World Trade Center had collapsed. The strange and really spooky thing about her report was the building was still standing and could be seen right over her shoulder during her report. This has sent conspiracy theorists into fits for years. Proof, they say, that not only did the U.S. government blow up the building, but major news outlets knew what was happening and had a schedule of when it was going to happen.
Conspiracy theorists love this story because of Building 7's tenants. The best known was Solomon Brothers Smith Barney, one of the 5 largest investment banking companies in the U.S., working with many of the largest corporations in the world. But Building 7 also had offices of the IRS, the Secret Service, American Express, Hartford Insurance, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the New York City Office of Emergency Management. And conspiracies about New World Order created by destroying financial and government records by blowing up Building 7 pop up to this day, like a game of whack-a-mole.
The biggest argument seems to be that since the building had not been hit by a plane, there was no reason it should have collapsed. But unlike other buildings in the area, Building 7 was built over a consolidated Edison power substation, and this put severe restraints on the building design. It was a trapezoid shape, 610 feet tall, with steel girding and exterior granite cladding. On floors 5 through 7, the design required substantial extra support to transfer the weight of the remaining 40 floors, and 2 exterior bridges connected Building 7 to the main World Trade Center complex.
The building had been heavily damaged by the collapse of the South Tower of the World Trade Center at 9:59 a.m. and the North Tower at 10:28 a.m., including having both the exterior covered walkways wrenched from the building. The damage was confirmed when firefighters searched the building and found several large fires on different floors, which they tried to extinguish. Low water pressure caused by all the firefighting operations going on and damage to the sprinkler system inside the building made it impossible to put out the fires.
By 2 p.m., the fires had been burning and spreading for about 7 hours, and a bulge in the southwest corner of the building between the 10th and 13th floors was seen. Creaking and screaming metal sounds were also heard. By 3:30, the area had been evacuated because of the fear the building would collapse. Cracks appeared in the granite facade of the building, and by 5:20, the top of the building began to collapse. It was gone by 5:21.
Before 9/11, it was assumed that steel buildings could not collapse due to fire, and conspiracy theorists claimed these buildings were built to withstand what happened September 11th. But no building can withstand what happened, even to Building 7. The damage and extreme heat from not only multiple fires on multiple floors inside the building and the other buildings burning and collapsing around it caused critical support beams to fail inside Building 7 and started a chain reaction that brought the entire building down. Building 7 is recorded as the first steel skyscraper in history to collapse due to primarily an uncontrolled fire. The Twin Towers are included on the list at times, but because of the damage done by the planes crashing into them, they're often not listed.
No evidence has ever been found that explosives were used to bring down Building 7, and no explosions were heard by the hundreds of people at the site, despite some dubious reports that say otherwise.
So why did the BBC report the building had collapsed at 4:54 p.m., nearly a half hour before it did? Reuters news agency had mistakenly reported the collapse in a news blast picked up by other outlets. The BBC reported it live. Reuters later issued a correction explaining the mistake, but clips of the BBC report keep making the rounds and making people wonder if it was all an inside job.
It doesn't help that the BBC said in 2006 that they lost the original tapes of their 9/11 coverage, which of course has led to even more conspiracy theories. Thanks to social media, it seems easier for many to believe that some secret group of powerful individuals or the government created death and destruction to take over the world or start wars or control the oil in the Middle East than to accept that there are bad people out there with a hatred of Western civilization that runs so deep their only goal is to destroy us. Who needs conspiracies when the truth is that terrifying?
By the way, NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, yes, a government agency, but that doesn't mean they're in on the conspiracy, has a short video showing the collapse of Building 7 and detailed explanation. We'll put a link in the description if you'd like to watch.
Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And let us know what you think in the comments. Hey, here's another DragonDen video you might like.
And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button.
And you can hit the notification bell if you'd like to know when our videos come out.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.